So... the sketch composition took me forever because I wanted something that, again, would be halfway decent. Weird. Okay. Like I said, I was interested in making these prints, so I wanted to find something that would feel, that would make a good poster. And I think we're almost there. Because I want to get... of like where I want Slender Man is tough. I want this to, like... like, even 100 biddies! My instinct is to... It's a lot of empty... maybe I'll put hands here? Maybe I'll put a hand here. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. Thank you. Oh my god, Joshua, thank you so much for the 100 pounds to support medical aid for Palestine. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. You do only have 2 more opportunities to donate. Oh, actually, you know what I'll do? No, I know what I'll do. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Oh, I love that. Okay. Now we've got it. Now I'm fucking cooking with gas. Jordan Peele's new film? No, but I heard he's working with, I heard he's working with Kojima. Ooh, you know what, actually? Hang on. I've got an idea. There we go. There we go. That's right. Monkey Man? Could be my favorite if I make it right, he says. Cool. Hello, Ethereal!
Oh. Although if you cut a sandwich diagonally, you're right.
It's true.
True. Or how much Crafty wants to throttle me.
No matter how much Crafty wants to deny facts.
True. It's not our fault that we simply know the truth.
It's true. There we go. Okay.
Some of the...
It brings me no small amount of joy that there is a good percentage of you who are sitting here in the audience and are like, I don't know what the fuck any of this is about, Heaton, and I'm like, good.
Good. It's better that way.
Unironically happier for you.
I wish I didn't.
I remember when they twink washed Tim Sutton.
I wish I could forget.
It's just so fucking funny to me, because I had to go back to get references, because I had to draw Hoodie and Masky.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, God, they really, like... They really made Tim look nothing like himself!
I don't know whether that's better or worse.
It's just... It's so funny how, like... How much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's... Like, the baby girlification of Jeff the Killer is one thing, but, like... Those where they took his traits and, like, sanded all the creepy parts off, because they're morons. Because they were dumb and thirsty teenage girls. But, like...
I could fix him.
Spoilers, no you couldn't.
No, you couldn't ever, but you know. I could fix him.
But, like, Tim is just such a funny encapsulation of that. Because, like, they got rid of his sideburns, they made him skinny.
Me listening to a skeleton burn to death because it won't take the 2-block step into shade.
Tim's one of the few that, like, wow. I like listening to Heaton talk about the things they like. Thank you. I'm glad someone does. Imagine if I was just talking to the void. Could you imagine?
Hi, It's me.
The void. Yeah, I try not to think about it.
Try not to think about what specifically.
The Slender Mansion.
Oh, yeah, good choice.
Like, listen, ultimately, was it doing any harm? No. But, like...
However, comma.
As somebody who really, like... who really likes horror... I could never, like... It's one of... I was talking to Ontario about this earlier. Like, this is one of the few things where, like... I'm not gonna openly go out of my way to shit on anybody. But, like... Fuck, I hate this flavor. Because, like... Yeah, I understood that it wasn't hurting anybody, but, like... It sucks that, like... It sucks that this is what happened to, like... a lot of really well put together projects. Like... Jeff the Killer's bad. We'll revisit that when we get to the, non-art rewards, because like I said, I want to do the art rewards first. But, like, Jeff the Killer was just never good. And we all kind of just said that it was. But, like, Ben Drowned was really good. It was really innovative for its time. Fucking Marble Hornets is why you have fucking internet horror in the way that you do now.
Hello, Susie. A secondary point, Mortis has wisdom.
Hit me with your wisdom, Mortis.
Mortis. Megan the Stallion could fix Sakuna. I can't breathe.
This is all thank you for your time. Thank you, Mortis. Very cool.
Oh.
But yeah,
oh,
like...
my bones.
Like, I can't bring myself to feel as neutrally about this era as I wish I could. Purely because I genuinely feel like it ended up stunting a lot of very promising creators' growth. And stunted the growth of the space. I don't know, I also have my wicked spicy hot take that I don't think kids should be involved in horror at all, so... That also has part and parcel to do with this as well. Is you see a lot of, like, interesting themes and ideas end up wildly mangled when put in the hands of children purely because they don't know what to do with it. They don't possess the maturity needed to do they don't possess the maturity needed to do what needs doing with this particular, environment. It's also just not a safe place for them. Which we've learned, which I don't. Welcome to another episode of How Many Times Do I Have to Teach You This Lesson, Old Man? It's almost like the horror community isn't well suited for fucking kids. Maybe that's gatekeeping. This is the only gate that I'll keep, and it's because straight up I've seen enough. I've been around the block enough to know that, like, this just isn't the place. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Heaton, can I talk on a subject that is tangentially related but not explicitly about horror?
Sure.
Okay. Listen. You know, I am so tired of kids coming into adult spaces and them being upset that it's not for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because hey, fun fact, that is why I have the 18 plus thing in my Twitter and on my Twitch. It's not because I'm NSF, well, not because I'm a lewd tuber. I don't want kids near my stuff.
While I agree with the general notion, if I may, it's kinda... They kinda don't have another place to go.
Yeah.
That's
but
the...
there's...
This is... Okay. Oh, no, you finish your thought first.
But the thing about it, though, is... Like, I understand we really don't have a choice because there's a lot of kid spaces and adult spaces being forcefully mashed together, which is a separate issue that I hate.
No, I agree.
But my 2 cents, my funny Aether thoughts, is I hate when we have an adult space, and then children get in, and then the kids get upset that we don't want them there.
No, again, as I said, I agree with the general notion, but the reason that is because they don't have any spaces for themselves. The death of Flash has kind of, like, really put them into a position where they don't have another choice.
It's true. Yeah, there just aren't hubs for children to congregate anymore.
We've lost a lot of them.
Because Flash had to die.
Yeah. Hello, Ontario.
Hello, Athea.
Something in general that, like... Well, like, in general, again, I agree that there should be, like, explicitly children's spaces on the internet. Because, like... I just don't think that the internet's inherently a bad place for kids. I think there should just be more places that are I think there should be more places that are inherently for children.
Well, in this day and age, we kind of need places for children, so it kind of sucks that there isn't any.
Exactly.
Rest in peace, Club Penguin.
Yeah, you know, I mentioned earlier the Death of Flash really did a number on that. No more armor games, no more cool math games, no more...
I don't...
You know,
Friv doesn't work anymore, I don't think.
yeah.
God, I miss Friv. I liked Friv.
Shoutouts to anyone who remembers Sticker World. I didn't figure.
Yeah.
Got my ass, I guess. I have no idea.
It was like a kid's social media site ran by the Sesame Street Company.
That
I
rules.
think.
Hmm.
Yeah. Though calling it a social media is a bit misleading. There wasn't any like social aspect to it. Basically, what you do is you'd put stickers on a page, like virtual stickers on a page, and then people could come and visit your page. And it
That's
was,
neat.
yeah.
I want to try
No,
this
that
again.
sounds unironically delightful.
Mhm.
It was. I spent a lot of my childhood on Sticker World. I would spend a lot of my time in my adult years on Sticker World if it was still around,
If I
to be honest.
was still able, I'd still spend time on Sticker World.
Because it's not like there was there wasn't any, like, social aspect. It was just, you know, it was just kinda, you'd make pages of stickers. And that was cool. That's all you needed. So yes, I'd absolutely spend more time on
Hello,
Sticker World
Heather.
in my adult years if I
Hello,
could.
Atherson.
Hi guys.
Hey,
Hello.
Kids don't understand the undertones and meaning of horror, like the lack of kids in the Dark Souls community. I believe is the reason why that community has very few controversies. Truly, I think that's part of why as well. I think that, like, inherently, like, there are... I stand by, again, I think that there should be spaces dedicated exclusively for children. But, like, I think that a big problem with the horror community is that inherently a lot of things that keep happening in this circle is because kids keep getting in. And, like, I'm not gonna pretend. What we're not gonna do for a minute is pretend like there weren't also adults who couldn't fucking be trusted to be adults. Like, quite a few fuckers in this community
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
fucking took advantage, and those children are not to blame for that. None of those, when I say things like that, I want it to be made crystal clear that I am not referring to children who were victimized by adults in the horror community? In horror community spaces. Those children who were victimized, you are not who I am talking about. However, I think that a lot of people really want or, like, refuse to discuss the important fact that, like, a lot of discussion can't happen if children are in our spaces. Specifically because we cannot kowtow to, like, dealing with kids.
if I may,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also something to be said about the vice versa of that. Adults in kids spaces.
True, I agree.
Something to be said about that as well.
I also agree with that implicitly. I think that there should be cleaner, demarcated lines between where kids are to be and where adults are to be, purely because adults should not take over children's spaces and children should not take over adult spaces, and that's why this kind of shit keeps happening, is because nobody knows how to sit in their own assigned seats!
Yeah, I agree there. It really pissed me off, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like, I hate it when I'm not talking about Aether, obviously, when I say this, but like, oh, I fucking hate it when there's kids in our spaces. Bitch, you are drawing My Little Pony porn. Go the fuck away.
Touchdown.
Yeah, go the fuck away. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Like, it's like another, like, I remember watching like a video, where, I mean, you probably know the video that I'm talking about, where, someone was talking about, like Smile HD,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mhm.
the like gory content that was put in the My Little Pony fandom,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I think
and
I know some.
yeah, and like one of the people involved in the well, it was a commentary. One of the people involved in the chain was like, "Oh, it's the kids' faults for clicking on something like that." It's like, no, no, let's not do that.
No, it was 100%. It's why this is Nezzy and I talked about this during a stream earlier this week. That part of the reason that I really like this modern wave of like MLP infection AU shit is specifically because um there is no longer an emphasis on trying to like pretend to make it look like it's part of the show. There's no that culture of shock value where you got your merit from fooling dumb kids into clicking on something without checking or reading it has died. And that now that it has died and you can like put content warnings on shit like grown fucking adults, it means we can actually like do cool stuff and write cool stories and have like all of the cool creepypasta grimdark shit that we wanted, because those things are now demarcated as being not for children. Everything is now tagged and labeled, and it means that the adults can sit in the corner and be like, haha, what if Fluttershy ate Twilight's face, hee-hoo, while the children can be like, nope, this is not good, goodbye, I leave.
This is why there's 18 plus panels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm happier about that. Like, that's all I wanted. All I ever wanted was like, you can do your fun, creepy shit, but you cannot put it in the same place as, where children are, or try to, like, pass it off as something so that children can see it, because inherently you now make that space more unsafe for children.
Yes.
Yeah, like the iconic story about the Slenderman thing.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the problems that came about because of the Slenderman stabbing truly could have been avoided if, like, people had been more responsible adults.
Yeah, and not blame it on the whole thing in general, nor the kids.
Yeah, I blame violent video games and the television and youth culture. I'm taking an interest in what your kids are interested in.
Well, they tried to take the fucking creepypasta wiki down, and the response was like, we didn't fucking do anything. Cause like, this is the thing, right? A lot of people want to talk shit about the wiki in light of that, but the thing is, like, a lot of the things that the girls believed were not shit that was posted on the wiki. Like, a lot of that shit was not things that were, I mean, for lack of a better word, canon. Like, they were...
I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Those girls were very unwell. Surprise!
Yeah.
Surprise, you typically have to be if you're gonna fucking stab someone to death. Or if you're gonna try to stab someone to death, rather. I don't like the way this is turning out. This is why we duplicate our flats, kids, is so that we can do this.
There was another story that these two teen boys were a huge fan of the Scream movie, that they decided to reenact it by killing this poor girl.
Yeah. Like, it's...
Like, it's not the reason people are doing this. Like, things aren't happening because someone plays Doom or they watch Scream or doing that. It's because of, it's about, environments that they're raised in. It's about mental health concerns. It's numerous other factors. But the problem is they don't address these things properly. They either find a scapegoat to blame or they try and just placate the blame onto something else.
And
Yeah.
what's worse, that's how the world works today, sadly. It's like that Skitter joke from Simpsons. It's like, am I wrong? No. It's the children who are wrong.
It couldn't be me. It's the children who are wrong. It's just, I don't. I wish with all of my heart that, like, the community didn't consistently get as bad a rap for its shit that it does.
All I can sadly say is who knows as of right now.
Yeah.
And I understand why kids are interested in horror. As when we're young kids, we like to be scared in some sense. We like that little push of adrenaline. We remember the things that scared us as kids, and we have a certain degree of fondness for it. Just like we like a little bit of adrenaline. People like going to haunted houses, stuff like that. But when it gets into just creepy, cerebral, overly detailed stuff like that, and just being able to okay, maybe you're not old enough for this quite yet, or you have parental supervision to kind of explain that's not real or that's not okay, or I don't think this is okay for you to watch, then you can move forward with that.
Right. I don't know. I feel like a lot of this shit in the fucking something state of the community something
Stayed in the horror community, stayed in the internet community.
both. In the internet horror community in general, right? I think there's a recurring problem of things being aimed at children that should not be.
Yeah, because I remember bringing this up before and being going down the aisle of the toy store and seeing just shelves of FNAF and Hello Neighbor and all these random just YouTube related series, and just why are kids interested in this? This doesn't seem things kids would be interested in when you have shelves and shelves of other stuff that are directed at kids, are appropriate for kids, and are, entertaining, educational, and, fun for kids.
So here's time for Heaton to get up on her fucking soapbox for a minute. I possess the hot take that Five Nights at Freddy's irreparably damaged the online horror space so extremely that we have not felt the ultimate responses to it yet, and we might not for many years. So I was talking to Justin about this, and I said, do I think, and I want to say this very specifically, do I think that Scott Cawthon intentionally made the series to appeal to children? No, I do not.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Do I think that he did this on purpose? No, I don't. What I think happened, however, and why there is a little bit of blame that I lay at the feet of Scott and Steel Wool and the companies that market FNAF to children, is I think what happened was, I don't think the series was originally meant to be for kids. However, I think they saw that they could get a more mass market appeal in marketing to children, and they didn't say no. I think they had the opportunity to do the right thing and to take that step back and make it more demarcated towards adults, and they chose not to in order to make more money.
Yep, that's the saddest thing that goes. So, excuse me for a bit, I'm gonna get myself some food, so I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, Shining Sphinx in the chat. Also, horror for kids should be a little humorous and a little silly. Stuff like Coraline or Goosebumps is both scary and funny. Like, that's how it works. Like, that's how, like, horror comedy appeals to it. Or, like, scary stories to tell in the dark was more generally to be a horror for, like, a younger audience.
Oh, forgot one thing. It's just that when it comes to what indie game stuff, when you mentioned FNAF, it kind of makes me glad when it comes to like Bendy stuff. They decided to make a next game a lot more mature, especially with the recent picture of a really creepy eye. I probably will showcase later because I gotta go get food. So see ya.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.
But like, I just don't. I wish motherfuckers cared. Cause like, these things are, the problem with this kind of shit is that like, these things do harm. And people just kind of refuse to admit that. For like, for fucking innumerable reasons, right? Most of them monetary. It's just this idea that like, we can make more money appealing to children. And like, it's gross. It's gross and it's wrong and you shouldn't do it. I feel like fucking doing these things and marketing them to children is the wrong move.
It is.
And I feel like if you develop a... So, like, for example, right? I would say 90% of the things I make, I would say are not for children. I have a couple of things.
Like, we swear we put 18 plus things on there for a reason. If you are youth, if you are child, don't be.
Yeah. Like, most of my content, I'm with Aether. I mark my shit 18 plus because I like to talk about horror and, like, adult things. Not because I'm a lewd tuber. I don't want children in my fucking spaces. I don't want to be... I want to be able to make spaces where you are comfortable and happy. This is not one of them. I'm not your mom. I'm not here to babysit you. And hot take, if you don't want the responsibility, this is something like a lot of content creators need to like fess up to. If you don't want to deal with the responsibility of like, I don't want to have to do all this shit to take care of kids in my, then don't have kids in your audience. Because, like, now my only responsibility to children is to not let them into my audience. Everything else is fine, because you're all adults. You're all grown-ups. So I don't have to, I don't want to have responsibility for people in my audience, because that's not, that's not the kind of content that I make. I don't want to make content where I have to police my thoughts, my feelings, the things I say, the things I do, so there's no children in my audience. Because you're grown-ups. Like, it's why most of the things I do are on the more mature side. It's why I play so many horror games. It's why I talk so openly about these kinds of things, is because I think I'm not suited. I'm not suited for children!
We don't want to deal with children.
I do not want to deal with... I don't want to have to be responsible for the growth and mental well-being of the kids in my audience, because there are no kids in my audience. Smell.
I sometimes worry that I developed one without even trying, I guess. It's something that I worry about, because especially the way that I draw, very, very cutesy, I guess. Because that's what people call it. I've always described it as something that a 6th grader would probably do in their notebook. And I do kind of worry that winds up like getting kids I guess, towards my content.
Understandable.
But I have also I have also tried to make it a point not to be for kids. To shrug. I don't know.
I like children just fine. I think they deserve their own spaces where they can be comfortable and grow and develop and meet one another and learn things about the world and themselves. Those places are not here. Go away. Smile. Those places are not here. That person is not me.
Happy Tree Friends looks cutesy. Yeah, but Happy Tree Friends throws, like, gore around like it's, like it's nothing.
Yeah, but that's like it's supposed to
Not
be
really.
like that. Like it's supposed to be like like Itchy and Scratchy style. Looks cutesy, but it's actually really bad.
Yeah, but that's not the stuff that I do.
No, yours is just stylized.
Yours is just stylized. That's it. We're not babysitters. We're not therapists. Understandable. Agreed.
We're entertainers. We're adult entertainers, but not that kind of adult entertainment.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Well, someone probably is, but not us.
Not us. Nobody in this call currently.
So something Pornhub theme.
I think the issue is that kids don't like things being dumbed down for them. If you want to make horror for kids, you need to include dark themes, not dumb it down for them. Granted, some topics should be off the board when doing a horror game for kids, i.e. explicit mentions of sexual crime, suicide, and no mentions of PDF files at all. True. I think that, like, Courage the Cowardly Dog, it's part of the reason why it's aged so well.
Yeah, and that one blends horror and humor well. Think about it, like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Gravity Falls, Infinity Train. All those shows balance the ideas of horror and humor well. Get the younger audiences interested in those kinds of things.
I think you can do things that, like, challenge and scare kids, but the thing with that is, though, in a lot of cases is people just don't take the responsible measured steps that they need to in order to, like, take care of those kids.
There are Minecraft zombies outside my house.
No, they just want something that'll placate their kids and keep them distracted while they do something else. They
Right.
don't want to take responsibility for it.
Hey,
I don't know why I
real
thought you were
quick.
gonna say there's Minecraft zombies in the horror community.
I mean, there might be. Hey, secondary point, and this isn't calling out anybody in the audience, but no, this is a thing. Take an interest in what your kids are watching, and the content they are consuming.
For like 5 minutes, God, please.
Because like I get it, you're a busy adult, stuff like that. Take like 5 minutes, sit down. Hey, did you find anything interesting? Talk to your children. Like it's why I love. I grew up loving horror, because when I was a preteen and 18, my mom, who had books upon books upon books, was literally handed me books and said, "You would like this one. Read this one." And then we would talk about them. I read My Sweet Audrina and Flowers in the Attic when I was a teenager. That shit's fucked up. But my mom was with me to show me the way, like, you know what the shit I'm putting it down,
Yeah. I love the constant response of, like, well, if I'm making horror, for parents shouldn't this, that, and the other. Yeah, they shouldn't. And you know what? You're right. Parents should take a more vested interest in their children and, like, pay attention to the things they're doing. Hey, you know what that doesn't give you carte blanche to do? Not pay attention to the fact that there are children in your fucking community.
Oh, sorry, I choked on something. Anyway. Choked on a slug, it was weird.
Yeah, I know. It's almost as if if you're putting your things out in the public, it is your the one responsibility you have. Like I just said, my one responsibility to children is to make sure they're not in my fucking community.
If you're under 18, get out.
If you're under 18, leave. Yeah, okay.
Actually,
This is about the vibe I want.
did I ever tell you that I got that Lumi got me a community strike because he was talking about how he could only really teach older children?
Huh?
Who?
So friend of ours, friend of Heaton and I's, Lumi.
Our dearest Lumi Troart.
Yeah. So on one of my streams, Lumi was talking about how he couldn't teach like younger kids because, he doesn't like younger kids. The exact words he used, mind you, was "I hate kids," and apparently, that is considered hate speech on YouTube.
Wow.
Hilarious. Rollicking.
That's so fucking funny. I didn't know that.
So that is my second community strike on my VOD channel.
Problem is our society puts entertainment into two categories: stuff for kids, stuff for adults. If it's a cartoon or has kids things based on a cartoon, we put it in kids category. True. Oh my god, one of my fucking favorite anecdotes of all fucking time. When I was a kid, back in the day, when the anime section at Best Buy was so fucking tiny, I was sitting there in the section looking at just looking at stuff, just seeing if there was anything that looked cool, that looked interesting, right? And I look, and they had moved something from the anime section into the kids section. So,
Oh no.
So sitting next to a copy of VeggieTales, and 3 of you might know what this means, more of you if you're old heads, there was sitting next to VeggieTales was a box set copy of Gantz.
Oh no. Should we explain what Gantz is for the audience?
You can if you so desire.
So Gantz is a show that basically everybody is horrible. It is basically about a group of people who die, come back as just assassins and crazy leather bondage outfits to a weird black ball, and then have to kill weird aliens that make body parts melt. It is gory, sexual, and does not belong in the kids section. I'm not gonna lie, for a second I thought you were gonna say Rise of the Overfiend.
No, it wasn't that bad. No, it was just Gantz.
It was just dance.
Oh,
I mean,
just
It was just Gantz. I hear about this anime section in Heaton's past like it's their origin story.
Oh,
see,
dance. Oh.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was gonna be far, far worse.
I don't know, man.
So
Gantz is pretty fucking bad. There's 3 rapes in the first half of the series.
No, not dance, Gantz.
Yeah, I heard
Gantz.
Yeah, I heard dance the first time. I'm like, I've never heard of it. And then Teresa Gantz, and I heard the G, and I went, oh no.
Yeah,
and, does ASMR count? Yes, no, ASMR does not count as an accent. You have to pick an accent, not a voice, an accent.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Also, there's no way for me to get the mic close enough to my face with my current setup. I'd have to hold it in my offhand.
Although I could always engage in make Bad Hatterson very flustered mode.
I was
You
about
guys
to
are
show
too
this a
easy.
pretty picture, but goddamn you!
you guys make it too easy on him.
You
have
guys,
no
it's just
idea.
her. It is
No.
just her.
No, it's Scarlet too. I'm
yeah,
talking generally.
Oh, Scarlet makes it very
I-
easy. They just put it right out there, but Mad
I'm-
Hatterson
I am
has the garage sale of weaknesses.
Yeah.
As I said, I am merely speaking generally. Those two particularly, if you want me to get specific. make it too easy on you.
There we go.
Oh, next to Bible Black. Oh no.
No!
Although I guess
Burn it! Burn it!
I
Burn
think I
it!
would have
Burn
lost
it!
it. I
Burn
think I
it!
would have lost if that had left your mouth. I think I would have lost it.
although
Oh,
now
I
just
can. Yeah.
imagine-
Okay. Okay, Google. Set a timer for 2 minutes. I'm about to hurt Ontario.
Oh no.
ASMR gift
Well, I don't
wizard.
wanna. I don't have to. I don't have to try that hard, honestly.
Oh. That's not a Canadian accent. That is a freaking Wisconsin accent. Or Minnesota, don't I know.
I don't know, it's pretty close.
That is just you watching Fargo once. I need to get Cherry in here.
See, okay, you know what? I'm about to get real pissed for a second. This is not the fucking Fargo accent. It's not. It's not the fucking Fargo accent. This shit, this is from, like, a completely different area. What I'm doing right now. This is like...
Okay, now you're sounding more Upper Buffalo. You know, like Cheektowaga, Tonawanda.
This is like... Well, this is my accent. I'm doing my accent, but, like, just more. Fucking... I'm getting real... Because motherfuckers will always be like, oh, this is what the people from your area sound like. And I'm like, no, it's not. Or they'll be like, this is what the Fargo people sound like, and it's like, no, it isn't. This is what I sound like, or what I'm supposed to sound like anyway.
Because like I've joked that there's technically like 4 Canadian accents. There's like your traditional stereotypical kind of like, oh, don't you know, and all that, but not kind of stuff. There's your more like I joked about with Cherry because like you have your Quebecois accent, which I always joke about the Quebecois accent, which drives Cherry up the frickin' wall.
I was gonna say, so we're just making fun of Cherry at that point.
There's the the East Coast accent.
Okay, Google, stop.
There's like the East Coast accent, which is a bit more kind of like, you know, like kind of like New England, kind of a little bit Minnesotan, just kind of accent, where it's just kind of like a combination of words like that. Oh yeah, kind of like that. And then of course you have the stereotypical South Park accent, which is especially funny for my girlfriend because she's a South Park fan and I'm her boyfriend from Canada.
Fucking seeing non-twinkified Tim adds 30 years to my lifespan. You can tell if a creepypasta fan has seen Marble Hornets by how they draw the funny masked man. We were just talking about this morning. I'm so mad about how the community. Listen, the community did a lot of people dirty. They did a lot of things dirty. The dirtiest thing they ever did was I'm gonna fucking hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
The twinkification of Masky.
So hang on a fucking second. I'm not, and I want to preface. I want to preface that I'm going to show you an example, but like, do not be mean to this person, because like the whole community did this.
And I thought Jeff the Killer has a really bad, huge red.
Oh, it's bad. Oh wait. Oh, it's bad. You'll see. You'll see how bad it is. So like, I'll do this one because it's probably referenced off of a base. So this is how the community drew Masky, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah. I'm sure you do.
Slender. I'm so glad nobody heard that.
Yeah, I heard you.
Smile.
I'll send you to the fucking. I'll send you to Brazil.
I've never done anything wrong in my life.
I need like.
Specifically?
I need like a full body of him. Hang on. This doesn't help me. I need to. There we go.
Well, while he didn't search it, here's the link to the post I was talking about when it comes to Betty. Like, they decided to make the game a lot more mature. And let's just say, yeah, this is what they have so far. I'm gonna post it in the collab chat.
Also, Daedalus in the chat. That's fucking Gaara from Naruto.
This is what the actor who played Tim looked like.
Where's the sideburns?
Sideburns?
He reminds me of someone. He reminds me of a character, and I can't.
Who? How did this happen?
Looks like Crimbo more than anything else.
He does look like Crimbo!
You
Oh
played
my
Crimbo
God.
Nasty.
The next time you talk to Crimbo, tell him you look like Tim Wright from Marble Hornets.
I've never talked to Crimbo before in my life, but if I'd love to speak, I'd love to
I can
speak to him
pass
at
it
some point.
on.
But like, it doesn't
I'm
look
pretty sure-
anything. Doesn't fucking look anything like Tim. Like, doesn't look a single goddamn thing like Tim, and it's so fucking infuriating. Because the community, like, not only did they twinkify him, they got rid of his sideburns. Like, Tim, part of the whole point of why Maskey was scary is because Tim is like a physically imposing person.
And like,
Tim's a big guy.
He's a big guy. He has a rounded face. He has the prominent sideburns. You know what this looks like? He looks like the freaking rail tracer, from freaking Bacano, where the freaking blacker
Claire,
than
He does! He
wearing the
does!
freaking
Claire.
darker than black mask.
Yeah, like he was fucking top 10 motherfuckers who get it. Number 1, you. I fucking, like, the whole point was that Tim was like a physically imposing person. So when we found out that it was Tim, like because we didn't know for the longest time that Tim was Maskey. And then when we found out, it was like, yeah, that makes sense, because he's fucking big and scary. But like, it drove me fucking nuts that the community just completely twinkified this man. Built like a brick wall and tackle dudes. Was he the one who tried to fist fight the operator? Was that him?
Honestly, I could see it.
I think that happened in Marble Hornets. And I think it was Tim. Because that's the other thing. Like, you know what? Welcome to, We've Turned a Corner. I'm sorry, I just looked at chat, and I saw Mally. My favorite 2 things I found in the kids section, because it's anime, was a Korean book about a prisoner being SA'd. I know which one you're talking about. And falling in love with their warden, and a clearly bootleg box set of Chucho Romantica.
Oh no.
The girlies who know. But yeah, like, fucking, wasn't it Tim who fought the operator? Like, because this was something that fucking chaps my ass. So I've seen Always Watching, right? Those of you who are Marble Hornets fans, you can leave your L's in my comments, or in the chat. But I watched Always Watching, and there's 2 parts of that movie that are, like, unforgivable. One of them is this weird piece of lore that they give that you can only see the operator in the camera, which is not true and was never true, because again, Tim, like, sees him outside and tries to... Tim Moore stood against it while the tall salt fucko psychic blasted him. Yeah! Tim went out to throw hands with the operator because he saw him and he was like, I'm fucking sick of this! And he went out there to fight it, and then ended up having a fucking seizure and bleeding from the orifices because that's how the fucking operator works. The fucking... Nobody internalizes this. The reason that Alex was always fucking recording wasn't because he could only see it in the camera. It was because it was fucking stalking him and he was paranoid. It was because he never saw it. He could only feel that there was something around, and he wanted to make sure that he could be a step ahead of it. It wasn't because you could only see it in the camera. It was because Alex was a freak. And the operator makes you forget shit. So that was why he was always recording things. Was he and Jay started recording shit because it made them forget. And they didn't like these huge gaps in their memory, so they started recording everything. But they're like, but in the movie they're like, oh, it's because you can only see it in the camera. It's like, no, that was never the case. Please, like, intuit some shit. And then the other one, that fucking kills me, that pisses me off about that fucking movie, is... Okay. Spoilers for the worst Slender Man movie. But, like, so, at the end of the movie... okay, this is actually a little important. The premise of the movie is that, this weird journalist, is filming, like, an old abandoned house for a realty puff piece for the local news. They're talking about how, like, about how people will just kind of, like, up and leave. Which is true. This is a thing that people will do where, like, spoilers, usually because of criminal activity, but people will just, like, up and leave their home with all the shit in it, and then the bank will foreclose and they'll take the house. So they were talking about that because this family had just up and left. But nobody had actually been in the house in a while. So they go and they're walking through the house and they find, like, there's food on the table. The kids' math homework is still laying out. So it was like, oh, so they left, like, in a hurry. So and then in the basement they find a shit ton of operator symbols and their cameras. And it turns out, like, oh, the dad was being stalked by the operator. Ooh. First of all, they don't ever refer to it as the operator, which I have, like, a lot of fucking feelings about, but, like, that's neither here nor there. But, like, the whole bit at the end of the movie is when we see the start of his tapes, of the father's tapes, right? And the father bought the camera while they were on their honeymoon, I think that he said. And he's like, oh, I picked it up from a yard sale.
Of course.
He's like, oh, I picked it up from a yard sale. I thought it would be fun for us to, like, document our road trip. And it's Alex's camera. The implication is that it's Alex's camera.
Heaton,
Yeah.
permission to make a joke?
Oh, sure.
Because he's talking about them going on their honeymoon, and all I could think about was the I consent, I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
And there's so
It's
many
just
forgot to.
It's just the fucking operator just looming in the fucking corner. Oh, I didn't.
I didn't consent.
And we know it's supposed to be, oh fuck, I did the wrong line, wait, goddammit. But, like, we know it's supposed to be Alex's camera, specifically because he says, when his wife is like, where did you find this thing? He's like, oh, it was, some guy was selling it at some, like, yard sale or whatever. It's got some shitty student film in it. Which is Marble Hornets, because that's the premise of Marble Hornets, was that it started with them filming a shitty, pretentious student film. And, like...
I know... Sorry, I know that's the title, but I can't hear that title without hearing concrete giraffes and the little Karibo version.
I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here with my head in my hands and being like, okay, now I know, okay, I've talked about this before, where I've said, like, when talking shit about specifically the Kenshin movie Reflections, I'm going somewhere with this, I fucking promise. Where I've said that in regards to, like, Reflections, right? Part of the reason that I hate that movie as much as I do is because there's bits and pieces in it that, like, only people who had access to the source material and, like, knew what they were doing could have had. There's a bit during the, like, ending credits where Kenji is with the main character from the original Meiji Romantic Tale one-shot. So, like, they knew. Because this was, the spoilers, she was not a character people were clamoring for. But, like, so they knew what they were doing and they fucked it up anyway. I spent most of that movie being like, these fuckers probably saw the name, cashed in on the brand recognition, didn't know, didn't care. And then they do that, and I was like, okay, no, wait a fucking minute. That can't be right. You know how I know it can't be right? Because the last shot we see of the series is that Tim had the camera, and there's no fucking way that after Tim's fucking entire ordeal of him losing his mind, breaking apart, and feeling like a monster specifically because he felt like he was the one who passed it on to his friends on accident. There's no fucking way that fucking Tim Wright just sells off that camera to some random nobody. Tape's still in it! There's
I don't know,
no way!
Maybe was inspired by the main character of Truth or Dare to become a horrible, horrible person.
There's no way! There's no way! I was so fucking mad. I'm like, there's no way in hell that Tim, like, just is a bad person. Tim would be buried with that. He would! Dollars to Donuts, he thought about for like 30 seconds, just like destroying it, and then was like, I don't know what'll happen if I do that. Therefore, I'm just going to hold on to it forever. Fucking lay me to rest with it. Like, this motherfucker sat here and watched all of his friends slowly be tormented and die. There's no fucking way. There's no way on God's green earth that Tim just is like, whatever. You look like you could use a fucking haunting. Especially because...
Our hero, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially because we know, like, how strong and fucking virulent I guess you could call it a curse is. Like...
As someone who deals with a curse on a daily basis, you don't just leave these things out at a garage sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a bad sign.
Like, Tim went through so much, and I just think it's absolutely fucking bananas that somebody really was like, yeah, I think he would just get rid of it. He'd just sell it. Like, fucking, shut up. Shut up! I'm talking about Marble Hornets. I'm on a weird soapbox again. Mom, Keaton's on her weird soapbox. The funny deer-antlered creature's on her weird soapbox again.
How does she keep getting this many soapboxes?
Because people don't keep taking them away from me.
That's true. I do love when you're on your soapbox.
J. Genre-blind Merrick did not die for this shit. You're you're so right for that. There's no way. I love Jay. Jay's great. Jay's a fucking idiot. Jay's so fucking stupid. I'm gonna be so fucking for real with you. I love my friends like family. There's so many wonderful things, and there's so many things I would endure to make sure my friends were safe. If one of you motherfuckers went missing for like half a year, and then I was mysteriously delivered a fucking sack full of VHS tapes, and after like the third one I see a weird monster in the background, I'm throwing that shit in the nearest dumpster, lighting it on fire, and being like, well, I know where they went. Like, I'm not stupid! I'm not going to launch some pseudo fucking Ace Attorney case to try and find you and deal with fucking some sort of eldritch monstrosity. Abso-fucking-lutely not! Not in a million goddamn years! Not for all the money in the world. Jay, my beloved moron who won't stop breaking and entering. So true. Jay,
Because when you get that stupid shit, you get all those stupid Pulse sequels.
Jay, my love, my precious baby boy, please stop breaking into people's homes. It has gone right for you a grand total of checks notes never. But Heaton, if you don't, how is the homoeroticism supposed to happen?
Listen, if they didn't want me to get in, they wouldn't have made it so easy.
It's not a crime if you have the key that I stole.
It's not, it magically not, it becomes not breaking and entering.
Yeah.
Cue the line for Digital Circus, everybody.
Yeah, smile.
Jay, I'm gay in Bumblefuck, Alabama. I need to find my one ally, Alex. I thought they were in Jersey. Wasn't that the bit? That they were fucking, which is worse?
Light shrug.
Fucking, I'll never get over, like, okay. I think objectively, this is not a hot take I'm about to provide you with. Like I said, I think Always Watching is the worst movie because I think it's inherently deeply disrespectful to its source material. However, what we will not do is pretend that the 2018 Slender Man movie is even remotely good, because it's, spoilers, not. But, I'm gonna get, because we're drawing Tim. We're drawing our beautiful boy Tim. So I'm gonna get up on my soapbox a little bit longer. You physically can't stop me. One thing that fucking pissed me off more than anything else about that fucking 2018 Slender Man movie. Like, Always Watching was made solely to, like, cash in on the popularity of Marble Hornets when the boys couldn't, like, trademark it or whatever, right? And that's fucked up. That's fucked up and that's wrong, and we know that's fucked up and that's wrong, right? Sony, first of all, I think it was, I don't remember if we knew about what happened with Tribe 12, but, like, if we didn't, like, the fact that they didn't invite TAC to, like, they didn't even have to invite them to work on the movie. My shit was, I'm pissed that they didn't, like, invite them to, like, the screenings. Like, they weren't at the red carpet, they didn't invite them to, like, anything, which was the fucking least they could have done. Because you wouldn't have a fucking movie if it wasn't for TAG. Literally everything all the mythos you're cashing in on, you either stole from the boys, or you fucking made up whole cloth and sucked.
Of course it's Sony.
But something that got me was, so, for the record, because I want this to be, before I talk about this, I want this to be made clear, the movie was filmed, before the stabbing, and that's really important if you know the plot of the movie. Yeah, it was filmed pre-stabbing, but the whole premise was that they were passing the virus along because the tapes had been uploaded to the internet. Which was to highlight the fact that it originally started on something awful and then became what it was, right? How fucking hard. There's a sequence at the end of the movie where the main character is watching, like, a bunch of sequences of people encountering the operator. Or encountering Slender Man. He's not the operator in this one, he's Slender Man. Where she's seeing Slender Man. How fucking hard would it have been to just be like, during the sequence where they're showing clips, just show clips of fucking Marble Hornets, of Everyman Hybrid, of fucking ML Anderson. Like, how hard? How fucking hard would it have been for you to put some fucking respect on the fucking actors and directors who made you your fucking money.
Well, that would cost money because they didn't want to give other people money.
Again, it's
You had to
Sony.
pay actors to film the little snippets anyway. You probably could have paid them less. Like, it's fucking infuriating. It makes me so
Okay.
fucking mad.
Again, like Hatterson said, Sony.
Yeah, like, it just makes me so fucking upset because, like, they worked so hard. The boys worked so hard for so many years, and they made something truly fucking unbelievably amazing. Something that we could not, at the time, have even comprehended. Like, something that was intricate and well put together and carefully and genuinely crafted with care and with intent. And, like, the fact that they took that fucking cash cow to the bank for all it was worth and then didn't pay them a single fucking iota of respect in the meantime fucking infuriates the living shit out of me.
As it should.
Like, fucking, as a creative, as somebody who was deeply inspired by Marble Hornets, who fucking watched these four dudes completely redefine what horror could be, was, and now is. Like, the fact that they couldn't for like 30 goddamn seconds just pay any kind of respect to the people who pioneered that genre, who gave them a reason to be making the fucking movie, is infuriating. YouTube, and therefore the creative work is both completely free for taking and invalid. And this is what I'm saying, is like, inherently, even if it's part of how I know that doing it was like condescending and childish, because truly, like, they didn't even try. Like, they cribbed their ideals wholesale, did everything they could have, and they didn't even try. Like, because even if they had just taken, like, this isn't like, they should have been paid for their work. Do not mistake me. The boys should have gotten every penny and dime from their appearances if they'd been allowed to appear, right? But, like, something that fucking pisses me off even more is, like, they could have even just, like, showing the original boys and being like, it originated from these guys in Jersey, could have at least paid some deference to these people who worked this hard, who burned years of their life and hundreds of thousands of their own dollars, and to just, like, give them any credit for the fucking amazing shit that they made. But of course not. Of course not, because they're it's not even necessarily that they were internet creators, truly. They were indie creators, and therefore they don't deserve time, respect, or deference. It's why I have, like, the strong feelings I have about, like, it's why Justin and I have gotten into, like, a couple of fights about the label indie, is because, like, then shit like this happens. Like, if corporate can take the word indie because it applies to its sensibilities, then it completely erases actual small independent creators who break their backs and empty their wallets daily to make incredible artwork. And that fucking irritates the living shit out of me. Fucking, my favorite bit, one of my favorite things ever, it's my favorite fun fact, at a panel, somebody asked them, what happened to the camera? What happened to the original camera that you filmed the series on? Do you still have it? And Jay said, I do. It died the last day of filming. After they filmed that shot, that's the end of the series, of Tim picking up the camera and turning it around to face the road, after they turned the camera off that day, it never turned on again. And I think there's some beautiful symbolism in that.
Yeah, it sounds really cool, to be honest.
Yeah, like, it's fucking, you can, like, a lot of people have a lot of things to say and a lot of feelings to have about Marble Hornets, and, like, especially now, and that's understandable to a certain extent, like, especially in the wake of, like, the stabbing TM. But, like, the original series is amazing. It was absolutely fucking revolutionary. They did shit on a shoestring budget with nothing but editing and a shitty VHS camera that, like, you couldn't possibly have ever imagined. It was so fucking cool. Camera, it did its time. That just feels right. Exactly! Okay. Welcome to Heaton's Drawing 2014 Creepypastas, so Heaton gets to get up on her soapbox all stream for all 2 of these hours. I fucking hate, you wanna know something fun? You wanna know something fun? Get so close right now. I fucking hate the concept of proxies. I hate it. I think it's so fucking stupid. Because it doesn't exist. It was wild. It was so fucking wild. It had good mental illness rep. It had great mental illness rep! Like, fucking, but like, I fucking hate the concept of proxies. Which was something the fandom created, by the way. It was never a thing in any of the actual, like, Marble Hornets media. Fucking, the word proxy is never used once. So I don't know where the fuck they got the word. But it was this idea that, like, if you were... It was fucking Hogwarts for emos, basically.
If you too are fucked up enough, you can go to Mr. Slenderman's magical house.
Exactly. It's where fucking the Slender Mansion came from. Was from this, like... started with this concept, right? And, like... It was nuts. It was fucking bonkers. There was just this weird... Hello? Okay, I fixed it. Never mind. What the fuck was that about? There was just, for some reason, out of nowhere... Toby probably popularized it. He was def more of a proxy. Then the masked lads got dragged in. Yeah! So... for those of you who are sitting in call and are like, Heaton, what the fuck are you talking about? First of all, I'm so happy for you.
I was about to say, so me, got it.
I think it's probably more in this call than just you. I think a good chunk
You're
of the
good.
a good chunk of the people here don't know what the fuck this means.
You're good.
So, fucking proxies was this concept of... It's like we said, it was Goth Kid Hogwarts. It was that you were chosen by Slender Man and then became one of his, like... Just, like... It was... If you were special, then Slender Man came and picked you and made you into, like... his funny little guy. That's what, like, Tiki Toby was. A lot of people said Jeff was one, but it was big. The big labels that they put it on were, like Jim Jam said in the chat, is they applied it to Masky and Hoodie. And it was just this idea of, like, if you were a proxy of Slender Man, that's why, I don't know if you were here for the beginning of the poster, but, like, this is the whole composition. Ben, Masky, Hoodie, Toby, Clockwork, Jeff, Eyeless Jack, and Sally, and the operator in the middle.
I really like how it's looking.
And then that's why the text on it says Delirium by Proxy. That's why. It's a reference to that. But, like, the idea of proxies inherently was wild because it implies a lot of shit that we just didn't know. Like, for example, we know why, well, we kinda know why. We had a vague idea of why, the operator went after Tim, right? Because of the weird experiments at the hospital when he was a kid. But, like, we don't know why it latched onto Alex. We don't know why it took Jay, because Jay didn't die. Jay got fucking got. Jay got fucking yoinked. Got fucking zooped up into another alternate dimension or whatever. Like, we don't know why the operator picks the people it picks. We don't know. We have no idea. We don't know why it went after Noah. We don't know, like, we don't know shit. Because much to the credit of, like, the creative team, thank you for the 69 bits. They never, we just didn't know anything. They never told us anything. Because much to the creative credit, Slenderman doesn't do anything. He's just kind of there, and his fucking terrible, awful radioactive brainwaves or what the hell ever are just super bad for you. And make you beat people to death with rocks, apparently. Make you shoot fuckers. Make you commit breaking and entering.
Hey, question.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you'd have a lot to say on this question, but it's a question I see pop up every once in a while.
Sure.
So the creepypasta cast versus SCP. How do you feel?
In terms of...
Like,
Death
do you
battle.
think the do you think the creepypasta cast would even, like, stand a chance against the SCP?
Oh, absolutely not.
You think they'd have no...
Oh, God, no.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not even for a goddamn second. The only creepypasta, big air quotes, character that could do anything would be Slenderman. And it's because we don't know anything about him. He super kinda just does shit. He's just sort of around, and his brainwaves are corrosive, and that's kind of all we know. Like, he gives off weird... We found out in Everyman Hybrid that he just sort of gives off, like, weird radiation of some kind. And that's it. That's all we know. Everyone else gets fucking got. Probably, like, 682 by itself fucking obliterates half of the fucking creepypasta verse.
Listen, if we're just talking Slender Mansion, like, 90% of them are just people.
Or just dudes.
They're just guys.
Like, for all of the shit that happened to and with Tim, like, he's a guy.
He is a dude.
Yeah, I see it pop up every once in a while, so it's like, I didn't know how many, like, I don't know very much about the creepypasta, like, universe, I guess.
Most of them are some variation of... Okay. Something I find really interesting about a lot of the creepypasta verse, and it's something interesting to say about specifically children in the horror community. 99% of them are some kind of dude and some kind of slasher. Which I think is actually... Which I don't think a lot of people talk about, but I think is tremendously interesting. Because I think it's super fucking fascinating that the community just kinda did that on accident. And I think that's... For lack of a better way to phrase it, I would love to study why that is. most of them were some variation of Michael Myers. They were some kind of, like, inhuman slasher villain.
Yeah, I think I've seen some OCs are a little bit like that. Like, actually happened in a creepy pasta universe as well. Like, there's actually some good exceptions when it comes to making some good creepypasta OCs, like Jason the Toy Maker, Papa Grande, yeah, etc., etc.
Big fan of obviously 1999. I really liked. I fucking like
Like
Candle
for
Cove's
just
cool.
oh yeah, I remember that one too. But yeah, what makes it interesting about one of them, which is Papa Grande, is just that out of all of them, he's just a regular human. Like, yeah, he grows old, he can die somewhat, but he's still a crazy monster. Not like monster physically, but the monster mentally.
See, I just know my favorite creepypasta is called Seven Deadly Sins.
Ooh.
I really like the way that one is written. But I don't know much more past that. Like creepy.
Okay.
I never really got into like the creepypasta universe, especially not as much as how quickly I got into SCP stuff.
Well, yeah, because you're a big baby.
I don't know whether I should be happy or sad that one of my favorites isn't in the image.
Who was it?
Because
Who is-
see, my favorite's been drowned. Second favorite is Laughing Jack.
Ooh.
I've drawn Laughing Jack.
I remember Laughing Jack.
I don't know, something about Laughing Jack I really liked.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
most favorite is
you,
Jason the Toy Maker.
If you know, you know. But it's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's a
Aether,
little
we
bit of my
forgive you.
Sorry.
But there's a whole genre that's like haunted video games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why I forget the name of it. This feels so bad. I only really remember it because there's a Friday Night Funkin' mod with a song, and the song goes fucking hard. Because there's Ingrained, which is really, really interesting and really, really sad. That's Pokemon related, and then there's...
Oh, what? You mean something like Lavender Town or something?
No, not Lavender Town.
Oh, are you talking about Silver?
I know it. Not Silver, but Gold.
Yeah. I know.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I know the song's called Monochrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
God, I've gotten way better at doing this like complicated lighting. Damn.
Yeah, you're good. It's looking really great.
Sometimes
What was it?
sometimes you learn how to do something, and then when you start doing it, it becomes really easy, and you feel like a fucking moron that you couldn't figure it out in the first place. For me, it was learning how to do this kind of like really intense lighting, specifically because what I had to learn to do was use this brush, because I was like, I want it to look cel shaded, but like I don't. But like hard highlights don't look good in my art style, so I need something that's kind of in the middle. Because I like the hard shadows, but like highlights on something are usually really soft unless you're in really extreme light anyway. And then I was like, but I can never make it look right. And then somebody was like, if you're having difficulty with getting really good intense mood lighting, here's how you do it. And I was watching the video, and they were like, put the highlights in first. And I was like, And so I started doing that, and now I don't have a problem with it anymore.
Also, it's called Lost Silver. It's just the person that it's about is Gold.
Yeah.
Which threw me off.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Fucking...
No,
I know
Ingrained.
what you're talking about.
Ingrained is the one that fucked me up the most, though.
I like the Russian sleep experiment.
We know.
Well, I like
Heaton.
that
It's a really
story.
good one, Heaton. We know.
I mean,
Heaton.
it's so good.
It's
It's so
good.
sorry.
Shut
It's
the
just that
fuck
it's so
up!
It's so good, I nearly thought it's real.
I'd believe it.
Mally just goes, you fucking would.
Shut up! 5 men were told a lie.
See, as far
Upon your fortune.
as like games and such, I know it's not. I don't think it's a creepypasta thing, at least. One of my favorite things is Polybius.
Polybius is a good one.
One of my favorite.
I think I vaguely remember.
Yeah, I don't think that's a creepypasta, but like I mean, counts under like
No, Polybius is an urban legend.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to learn a fun game of semantics with Heaton? Great!
Yeah.
We did get to 400 for Palestine. Thank you so much. I appreciate that immense.
Alright.
Hey!
So Aether said earlier, that his favorite was Ben Drowned. Ben Drowned is not a fucking creepypasta. I'm gonna teach you, we're gonna do some vocab today.
Okay.
Because people keep confusing these words, and it kind of pays to have. Let me fucking finish this bit, and then we'll do this. Because I keep.
Say when sorry.
Because I was gonna say, I keep seeing motherfuckers use the wrong words. They keep using the wrong terms for things, and it confuses your expectation. This is okay. Welcome. I'm not gonna get on the full soapbox. I put 1 foot on you. I'm putting 1 foot up on the soapbox. Just the 1 foot. For a brief second, as I climb up onto a second larger soapbox. Part of the reason.
You keep stacking them that high.
Shut up. One of the reasons that like terminology is important. This is why genre matters. Is because you do it because it confuses expectation. Genre needs to matter specifically because it means that you don't have the wrong expectations going into a thing, but we'll talk about that later. Hang on, let me just finish this. Hubba.
Yeah, I kind of just always figured that Ben Drowned was a creepypasta, so I'm interested to know what the actual like
Inspiration.
Well, yeah, it was like what.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up right now, Polaris. What about a fettuccine Alfredo? I hate you.
What?
That's a secondary
That's
point.
pretty funny.
I looked at the screen and goes, oh, Mally's here, and I looked at Mally, is so small. So tiny.
Mally's become small.
So very small.
Yeah.
Detroit become small.
Yeah, no, I would like to know like what makes the classification of creepypasta and why Ben Drowned is not.
It's the distinctions are super are a little complicated, and I'm not going to pretend that they're not, because this is why like when I have these conversations with Justin, he's like, why the fuck do you need all these complicated words for these things? And I'm like, because once you get into the weeds about subgenre, it confuses expectation.
Well, also because like genre. We've had this conversation in the past. Genre, I fully agree with you that genre is important. It's how we categorize things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So what about this good creepypasta categorization?
I will do this in 1 second. I'm just finishing up the last details on this. Ba-ba.
Okay.
I still really love the showing the highlights about this picture, especially for Masky there, because the fact that there's like a lot of darkness, yet it makes the mask pop out a lot more.
Yeah, I wanted to give the mask some like actual dimension, because you can't see his actual eyes in it, but I keep seeing people draw him with them, and the key difference between whether or not it is Tim or it is air quotes fandom Masky is whether or not his eyes are blue, and B, whether or not you can see his actual face. Okay.
And you need to be able to see his orbs, so that way behind the mask, so you can write the funny fan fictions.
So okay, I'm gonna do this on a
Oh,
different.
you have no idea. It's just that the worst part when it comes to the fact there's like the creepy pasta character, like, oh hey, there's someone I can ship myself with.
I guess that is what the point of the mask is. Haha. Anyway.
Shut So it's time for our horror vocab lesson. I'm gonna teach you some things today. I'm gonna teach you all the fun, pretentious words that you use in the circles to make it sound like you know things. This is gonna be the wine words of the horror community. I'm gonna teach you the funny words, okay?
Harem ramen. Fuck you, James.
So there's
AJ.
creepy pasta. So we're gonna start with creepypasta. Creepypasta are typically things that are written so we can disappoint our families. You can just make you're in the call! Just make the joke! What are you doing? You're fucking here! Just make the jokes! What are you doing? Dingus!
Is there something wrong with your computer or something?
Can't wait to hear about Terralini.
The Terrorlini. I hate you.
I
can't hear you.
It's kind of fun because I had Terralini for lunch today.
You're muted, gamer.
Mally. You are muted.
No, yeah, you were just muted, simply.
Yeah, we thought you were just muted.
Speak, pink one.
I'm trying.
There
I'm
you are.
trying to speak.
You're not allowed to.
Why are you pitched up? What?
And also,
I thought that was I thought that was just my brain playing tricks on me.
Oh, we good?
There you are.
Yeah.
There you're good. Jesus.
I thought, like, to me, Mally sounded echoed, so I thought they were, like, across the room going, I'm trying!
Jesus. Excellent job, Mally. Very cool.
Good job.
Good job. So, your creepypasta. The delineation is that creepypasta are things that are written and published on the creepypasta wiki, first of all, is the big thing. Most creepypasta are short, usually 1 to 2 chapter stories. They're usually vignettes, not typically tied to anything, just one-shots off their own. And the key thing is that they are written. They are text. Think of them as like horror novellas, more or like, right? That's usually what we consider when we think of a creepypasta. There is a delineation that people have of like, oh, it's when they're bad. Shut up. Creepypasta can vary in quality. Quality is not a delineator between any of these things. But it's usually stuff that's written. Stuff that's only in text. Usually when creepypasta made its way to YouTube, it was in the form of either some type of fan art edit or a narrator reading them. That's why the creepypasta narration community became big, was because these were text exclusive stories that were then brought to wider internet space because of people like Creeps McPasta, MCP, etc., etc.
Lost narrator, my beloved.
And that's why Ben Drowned is not, because Ben Drowned is a bunch of videos.
Ben Drowned is an ARG.
I thought it would have counted like as an unfiction.
No! And I'm going to explain to you, this is, okay, there's ARGs.
Yeah, well, I thought ARGs like required like...
And then there's
input,
unfiction.
No.
So here's
No?
the
Okay.
thing. They do. That's the delineator. The difference, but this is, I'm going to take you gently by the hand. I'm going to lead you to sit down next to me. No, not you.
No,
Mallie,
I'm
I'm grabbing you to sit you down next to me. People like you drive me nuts! Because you fuckers keep using the wrong word! An ARG...
Which word?
An ARG... ARGs and unfiction are are like this. This side is the ARG. This side is unfiction. ARGs require input. They require something.
Oh, no. I thought Susie. Sorry, my bad. I thought Susie said like they required creepypasta.
No.
Not
No,
input.
no. When we made the distinction that that Ben Drown was not a creepypasta, and then Heaton said it's an ARG, I thought it would have been more classified as unfiction because ARGs require like player input.
They do
That's what
require
I
player.
thought.
And you're
Okay.
correct.
Okay, yeah.
They do require player input. Ben Drowned did require player input.
Did it?
It did.
I actually did not know that.
There were multiple
Okay.
I
segments.
don't remember that.
Nightmine did a really cool video about it, but it did. It did require player input. An ARG, basically think about it like this. An unfiction is something that is, an unfiction is something that is behind glass. It is something that you can look at and you can enjoy and observe from the outside, but it is not something you can touch. An ARG is something that is put in your hand. It is something you can physically interact with. It is something you have the ability to pick up and move and manipulate and change.
Can I raise my hand with a question?
You may.
Does that mean so? This is probably you're probably gonna make fun of me. Does this mean that analog and digital horror are subsects of unfiction?
Correct.
Okay,
So like
because I was thinking about it, and it was something I was trying to.
the thing about unfiction is unfiction, because you know how I drew this as a Venn diagram. An ARG is something you are meant to interact with. Unfiction is something you are meant to not interact with. But you will notice that there's this space in the middle where they overlap. Both of these things have the same way of communicating a lessened, or what I would call a transparent fourth wall. It is meant to make you, these things are meant to be taken in and viewed as experiences rather than as literal pieces of artwork. Because they are something that you are meant to feel is real. It is something that is meant to limit the distance between you and the story, and is to make you feel like it is actually occurring. It's why, for example, one of the big reasons that I don't like Urban Spook, like I talked about, is that there's no kayfabe. It wants to pretend it's analog horror and provide all the trappings of it, but it doesn't do the legwork to do so. Usually, with most ARGs and unfiction, so like Gemini Home Entertainment, for example, there is a layer by which the audience partakes in it in which they think it is real. It is meant to present itself to you as if it is true, as if this is a thing that is really happening. However, there are places where you can see the seams, because you have to be able to see the seams, because otherwise it's irresponsible. So like, for example, if you go to Gemini Home Entertainment, if you go to the YouTube page and you click their about, it tells you that it's not real. It tells you, like, these are the merch links, this is the guy who created it, etc., etc., but on the videos themselves, that thing is not present. You can find the connections, they're not hidden, but they're purposefully It's like how in certain parts of Disney, they paint things a certain color of green so you don't notice them. It's like that.
Yes.
They're,
Go away green.
yeah, it's, those things are painted go away green. So if you're looking for your out to be like, oh, here's how I know this thing isn't real, that's how you can tell the difference. But a lot of people label things ARGs when they're not. They're unfiction. And that causes a problem in expectation, because the G in ARG is game. If it is not something you can play, it's not a game. This also creates a lot of problems with people then thinking, because they perceive that it is some kind of game, they then force themselves into that space, thinking that it's something that they can interact with, and they can't. I think a lot of people made that mistake. Make my chibi smaller, I beg. I can't. This is part of the software I use. It just scales you to everybody else.
Okay.
So does that mean Crow 64 is both unfiction and an ARG? Crow 64 is an ARG. Because it's something you can interact with. Crow 64 is an ARG. But Pets Cop is not. Chaz Kid's Archive, for example, ARG. Because there's pieces you are meant to physically pick it up, manipulate it, look at it. There's things you can send that affect an outcome, etc., etc. What's the difference between analog and digital horror? I'm so glad you asked!
Oh god.
Because the difference is from... Now, okay. First of all, I'm not a fucking professor, so I might be wrong, but this is what I've gleaned. The difference between these two things is time. Analog horror, these two words are the key to delineating the difference. It's whether or not it would be on analog or digital media. So analog media is stuff that would be on VHS tapes, tube TVs, so things you would see in like the 70s to like maybe the early to mid 90s, I think would be your gray area for like that period of time. So think like, so you wanna think things that like our parents would have interacted with more than us. Digital horror is things that you would interact with via things from the 90s, from like the late 90s, early 2000s to right now. So things you would interact with via the internet. So things like Flash games, old like digital worlds, that kind of stuff. That's more digital horror. Digital horror is emerging because a lot of creatives in the space don't have nostalgia for those old things anymore, and therefore that time period isn't something you have as firm a grasp on, because analog horror was made to capitalize on the nostalgia that you had for like popping in a VHS tape or listening to cassettes or something of the like. But as time is passing and people who are like me, who are like cuspers, are getting to the age where we now have the resources and the time, etc., is we're doing things that we remember from our childhoods. So while I remember analog media, my childhood is like DeviantArt, fucking Neopets, watching like abridged series, like that kind of shit. So that's why the changeover is happening. It's also because as analog horror becomes more saturated, people want to move, they tend to migrate to something that's a little less capitalized on, and a lot less people were capitalizing on that, like, early 2000s vibe that you had via your fucking, oh my god, I can see her in my head and I can't think of her name, your Lacey Games, your Chaz Kids Archive. Should do an ARG or Unreality Horror analog optional. Hi, I would love to. I had. Hey.
End of statement.
I'll do this for the bit. You'll probably be able to hear, but like for the bit. Hi, welcome to the list of notes that I'd have for things that I've tried to. I want to really, really bad. The problem, okay. I want to. I've been sitting on it. I've had it underneath my chair. The problem is, there's two problems. One, it requires so much setup. You have no idea how, like, when Heaton said digital horror, it startled me and I almost answered out loud. I'm so glad I'm the only person at work. But I've had for one for a while. And if Justin, I don't know if Justin's here. Probably not. I think he's down. I think he and Brooke are downstairs reassembling the Christmas tree. But he would know all about it because I grabbed him by the scruff. You remember? Okay. I'm gonna give you, come, get so close right now. I'm gonna tell you something fun. You remember how I said at the start of my subathon that I had some plans for some things I had to scrap?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of them. We had some stuff that was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be the precursor that was supposed to be going on throughout the whole subathon. We just couldn't figure out how to get the shit up in time. And so I had to scrap it, which made me really sad, but, like, I'd rather take the time and do it maybe this year or later. I just thought it would be good for, like, spooky October theming. But, like...
Oh, there's such a mood, though.
But I want to. I have this idea. It's how listen. Okay.
Are you able to share any details, or is it all like, oh, it has to be hush?
I can share. I'm familiar with Monument Mythos. Monument Mythos fucking rules. I too would like to thaw out George Washington in my bathtub.
Nice.
Monument Mythos rules. Look at Monument Mythos. Listen to Iceberg Boy talk about Monument Mythos. I'm a big fan. Yeah, Daedalus, I know that you like Mystery Flesh Pit.
Mr. Flesh.
I know how much you like Mystery Flesh Pit. Daedalus in specific, because at this point I'm just gonna talk for a little bit before we, because I don't have enough time to finish this. I only did 2 in these 2 hours. But because Daedalus has been trying to get me to do a thing about Mystery Flesh Pit for a while, and I fucking might. So, okay. I can talk about it a little bit. I've made the joke once or twice that doing that would be my audition for Astroline. Specifically because, oh geez, hang on, trying to fix things, there we go. Specifically because I have, a lot of, it's tied to my lore, is part of it. It's tied to my lore, and then it's tied into something I've been very cagey to talk about, partly because I don't have a whole lot of details fleshed out, but, like, something that the project I refer to as my magnum opium. That's the thing. That's the thing I want to make before I die. But, like, I have this idea that would expand upon the Heaton lore, like the gestures to me, the model, the one you're looking at, the goo. This one, the eyeball monster. Something that adds to, like, the Heaton lore, that's the goal. And I've got my fucking notes. Because I've said before that I'm not the only one of me. There's lots of me. Or I have air quotes siblings. Yeah.
Jesus. I mean,
Very good.
Jesus.
I've talked about how I have.
Shoot him away! It shoot
Ontario, it killed Ontario.
I can't believe Ontario's dead.
But yeah, it would revolve around introducing you to my siblings, I guess, and then interacting more with, like, what I am supposed to be. I have so much lore!
But no time to get it all out. I relate. I
Well,
feel this.
it's not even the problem is like it's not even about time. Like I would I know the lore. You know some of it. You know some of the lore. Not all of it.
Oh, I've got to shoot through so I can prep for the thingamajig. But I will say
Yeah,
I'm
I
still
too have
reeling
to hop off.
from that time I thought Heaton said that you didn't like the Magnus Archives.
I
still
thought you were
upset. I know
talking-
you didn't say it.
You fucking she fucking typed Magnus Archives. I looked at it and with my whole chest I said Magnus Archives for some reason, but I meant Mandela Catalog, and I don't know why I said that. I'm so stupid.
You said it so confidently.
did!
It was like vitriol, where you were like, "No, I don't like the Magnus Archives," and I had an aneurysm. I was so upset.
My wires got so because I looked at it again and I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? And then I looked at it and I'm like, because you said you hate the Magnus Archives, like sad face, and I looked at, hand to God, I looked at that text and I went, I didn't fucking say that. And then I looked at your first message and I'm like, no, wait a minute, I did, I'm stupid!
Because I sent you I DM'd you because I didn't want to say it in chat. I DM'd you like, I will destroy you with the gun emoji.
I was like,
I
what the
was so upset.
what the fuck is she talking about? I didn't say that. And then I'm like, you know what, I did, and I'm stupid, it's fine.
Just like, it broke my worldview of you because I was like, this is like tailor-made for Heaton. Heaton will love Magnus Archives.
It isn't, I love it. I do love Magnus Archives.
It just broke my brain.
Are my eyeballs
Well-
green because of John Magnus Archives? Maybe a little bit.
I haven't started Protocol yet. I really should, but I'm not.
Melly, I know you have to leave, but quickly, I know you like Magnus Archives. Please look in the live show chat for my peak
Hold on.
shorts that I sent Heaton a while back.
Wait a
I
minute.
will.
I love this.
What the fuck?
Turn
I'm
your
gonna wear the
tits.
Magnus Bonus Wretched thing, and it's just my ass. I need to
That's a
draw
drawing
myself
idea.
in the. I need to draw myself in the Magnus Archives booty shorts.
Go for it.
So yeah, like
My two favorite memes. Sorry for the deception, John, and the ceaseless watcher.
But yeah, like I have. It's. I try not to like. I try really hard. I try so hard not to do this. Because because I know doing this is lame, so I try not to do it very often, but it keeps coming back to it is, yeah, no, I have lots of ideas, I just don't have money.
Oh God.
The
Like-
pay.
Like, I would have to pay a bunch of people, I'd have to pay people for music, I'd have to pay people for art. Like, I have simply too much work that would need to go into it that, like, I can't, so I can't. And it sucks because, like, it's hard specifically because, like, it's one of those things, like, no, you know what, I don't want to talk about, I don't want to talk about this on air, so I'm not gonna, fuck this, no, I don't want to, so I'm not gonna, that's gonna be that, for now. We'll finish this another day. This is gonna be, surprise, more work than I thought. But for now, where am I gonna send you?
So I definitely will say it's really nice progress thus far.
It's true, it's true.
Have fun. I'm gonna bail out. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye, Melly. It was nice talking to you for the
Bye,
first
Mel.
time.
Money for Heben, thank you.
Money for Heaton.
But yeah, I'll
Mum-
send
Mum
you
B.
guys. Susie left to go do a thing, so I'll send you over to Susie.
Yeah.
All right, we get to kill her now. Not really.
Schedule will be up tomorrow. As per usual, so I don't know what we'll be doing this week. However, I can tell you that I want to play the Dredge DLC, so that's probably what we'll be doing on Wednesday. But so we'll be at least playing the Dredge DLC on Wednesday. Thursday we'll probably Thursday and Saturday we'll probably work on this, because this is gonna take a while. So I might just dedicate the next couple of streams in a row to working on this. But for now, I'm gonna send you over to Susie. Goodbye!
Goodbye.
See you, everyone.